Drivers, start your engines!
It's MRN Motorsports Monday, the place for the latest news and loudest opinions, direct from the guys at the track. Presented by Outback Steakhouse. The stories, views, and opinions expressed on MRN Motorsports Monday are not likely shared by anyone, anywhere. Results may vary, so you should talk to your doctor before watching.
What's up, Doc?
Today's episode is brought to you by Hercules Tire.
Paint car is on.
Here's Woody Kane.
Hey, how do you know my name?
Everyone knows your name, Woody.
And sitting in for Joey Meyer is Grant Enfinger.
MRN Motorsports Monday presented by Outback Steakhouse on the air. Joey Meyer on special assignment. So Grant Enfinger will join us, the driver of the Ride TV Toyota Tundra. They'll be back on track this weekend coming up at Martinsville Speedway. We also have a couple of special guests coming up. Chris Buescher will be here off a top 10 finish at Kansas Speedway on Sunday. And Jeremy Bullins, the crew chief for Ryan Blaney at the Wood Brothers. He'll be along a little bit later on as well. So a full show. My goodness, have you ever seen a race like we saw at Kansas Speedway on Sunday? They said, well, let's don't do an elimination race at Talladega because they might tear up a bunch of cars, and then we go to Kansas and tear up a bunch of cars.
At Kansas, we have the big one.
Yeah,
so it was definitely crazy. Definitely some wild things happened on Saturday and Sunday. So definitely some exciting racing, and it's good to see it on some of these mile-and-a-half tracks.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun to watch.
All right, let's go straight to the guest line now, where the driver of the Scott Towles machine for JTG Doherty Racing joins us on the guest line now after a sixth-place finish at Kansas. Chris Buescher. Chris, congratulations, man! You guys had great speed all weekend long, and I saw you on the plane. You're still grinning from ear to ear, I bet.
Yeah, that was a much-needed weekend for us, and you're talking about the big one. We avoided it at Kansas, which was good, but it was a good weekend. We had good speed, and it was fun to go out there and be able to run up there with those guys, and we just got to keep our heads down and keep after it and try and go do the same thing at Texas.
Chris, Grant Enfinger here. Proud of you, man. That was a great sixth-place finish for you. What do you attribute the speed to? It seems like y'all showing some speed at a few of the tracks. Sometimes y'all are middle of pack, and then sometimes y'all wake up and can race with the winners there. So what do you attribute that speed to this weekend?
I'm not really sure this time around. I think a lot of it goes back to everybody back at the shop's been working really hard. We talking about weeks where we haven't been as fast as we wanted to. I feel like the last 2 months have been tough on us, and we've been trying really hard to figure out how to improve on that. And everybody's been working on their own projects in the shop and trying to make these Chevrolets better. And I think we've been able to find some stuff that hopefully will apply to next year as well. As we start looking at the new body for us with the Camaro, just some of the chassis stuff, trying to get ready and be able to start 2018 off on a little higher note. It took some time for our team to come together and be able to get parts and pieces in place and build momentum, starting fresh this season. And I feel like we're to the point now where we can start fine tuning a little bit more versus just trying to put cars on the racetrack. And I think that's some of it. I wish I could tell you the one thing that made it better, and we put it in every week. But the good news is we had really good speed at Kansas earlier this year too, and we got spun out on pit road of all places and kind of ruined our day. But I'm excited to go back to the mile-and-a-half at Texas, home track for me, and feel like that's a place where we can go have another good run like this.
Chris, how much of it is just getting comfortable with Trent Orange, your crew chief, and the rest of the team as the season has gone on, getting more comfortable with each other and where you can communicate quickly instead of having to explain what you mean when you say something?
I think we're always working on the communication side of things, just trying to build that up. Really haven't had any consistency over the past couple of years, and it feels like I'm always bouncing around. So the first 10 races of our season are tough to get going. Then after that, it definitely gets better every week. And so now, I feel like we're at a point where we understand each other pretty good. I tried to work on a couple things, as far as, mainly providing feedback a little earlier in a run. I feel like I'm very quiet on the radio, and once the caution comes out, then I try and tell them all at once what I've been fighting for the last 40 laps, and then it's such a short period of time before we hit pit road. I feel like I need to give our group a little better time to react and to come up with adjustments to make. So, that's just parts that go with it, things that I'm trying to do better. But as far as a chemistry side of things, I think we've hit on something early on in this season, and our group gets along really well. We work really good with 47 bunch, and everybody at JTG Doherty has done an excellent job of creating a very very awesome atmosphere. Just it feels like a big family over there, and I think that's helping us get ready for 2018 and finish off this 2017 season on a high note.
Well, I got an off subject question for you there, Chris. Have you been fishing lately?
I haven't.
What?
I'm bummed.
Me and
Grant always put me to shame when we're fishing over at the pond there.
We'd have some fishing competitions there. A mutual friend of ours, David Reagan, has a pond right down the road from the studio here. So me and Chris would get out there and go fishing quite a bit. So
do you keep count? You keep score?
Well, we were keeping score at the time. So, but
I think we've lost it by now. But I can never get that one big fish. That's for sure.
Yeah, I snuck in there with some live bait one time. Put them to shame. So.
Oh, you cheated!
Yeah.
Right? How'd that make it through
come
TAC?
out?
What's up with that? Who's the official on this thing? Chris,
No.
Go ahead.
I'd just say we need to start it up again. Need to go. I feel like it's been forever.
Yep. I've snuck down there a few times on my way back here. I don't know if David knows about it, but I've snuck over there a couple of times. So.
What do you got? One of those Popeil pocket fishermen you can just jump out and go?
I always keep a ride with me.
Oh, see, you never know when a fishing tournament's going to break out, right? Hey, Chris, I wanted to ask you about, I've been seeing a lot of videos from JTG Doherty Racing with you and A.J. Allmendinger running around chasing each other with cleaning supplies and all kinds of crazy stuff. Looks like you guys are having a lot of fun with all that.
Yeah, we are. And on that particular day, I believe I won that competition. Who was soaked in more Febreze? We had a game commercial shoot not too long ago. Actually got a lot of our pit crew involved in it as well. A lot of the things that we do at the shop's been a really good time. I've had a blast with AJ this season. He's been a really good teammate. He's got a lot of personality, and it's kind of brought me out of my shell a little bit throughout the season. So it's been a really good time. I've had a lot of fun. We go do those things, and I feel like we've done probably a dozen of them this season. It's probably not that many, but yeah. I feel like every time we go do it, he provides plenty of entertainment throughout the day of filming.
He's that way whether the camera's rolling or not, right?
Yeah, I figured that out. It's always the same. He's always on.
And the camera may be on or it may not be on. Hey, before we let you go, let's look ahead a little bit to Martinsville Speedway this weekend. What can we expect there? Going to be a little bit cooler than when you guys went there back in April, but you had a pretty good run then.
Yeah, I guess been so excited about our 1.5 mile run this week, and I keep talking about Texas, but we got Martinsville coming up first. We did have a good run earlier this season. I think that was Martinsville 1 was the race that kind of got us swinging in the right direction. Really got a little bit of momentum on our side and set us up for a handful of really good weeks. I think we finished 11th there earlier this season, and just a place where I've struggled a little bit in the past, and it seems like every time we go there, it takes me an entire practice to really get back in a rhythm. But after you figure it out, it's I want to say it's your typical short track racing, but it's really not. It's very different than all of the tracks that I came up racing on, and Grant will tell you the same thing. All those ARCA short tracks, they're just not the same feel as that. You never go anywhere that'll give you that same experience as Martinsville. So we'll go there. I think AJ runs really good there, and I was able to learn a lot from him this year. Once we got there and looking through data and trying to figure out how to get faster. If we can unload and be close to where we left off, I think we'll be in really good shape, and hopefully we can go out there and turn it into a top 10 this time.
Well, that's fantastic. And, you know, Grant's going to be up there in the truck this weekend, so you guys might have to go wet a line somewhere and see if you can reel in some fish to have a fish fry up there this weekend, right?
See, I feel like we could find a place to do that.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have to twist our arm too much.
Not in Martinsville, Virginia. Hey, Chris, congratulations on the sixth-place run at Kansas Speedway. Continued success, and we'll see you up at Martinsville this weekend.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, gentlemen.
There you
Good
go.
talking to you.
Chris Buescher, the number 37 car, the Chevrolet from JTG Doherty Racing, the Scott Towles machine, and it feels like their speed is building to the point where they could put together a nice little streak here to finish the season.
Yeah, they've definitely stepped it up a lot, and I know Martinsville's this weekend, and Chris was mentioning Texas. He was really fast at Texas earlier this year, so you know, hopefully he can have a good run in the home state.
Absolutely. All right, we got to take a time out here on MRN Motorsports Monday. Jeremy Bullins will join us a little bit later on. He's the crew chief for Ryan Blaney. Don't forget, it's also Bloomin' Monday because Kevin Harvick got a top 10 finish. We'll be back in just a minute.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that honey to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse, blooming great.
It's almost the most refreshing time of the day, Bush o'clock, a time for relaxing and unwinding with friends and family over a crisp, cold Busch beer. Busch's roots are in racing, but whether you're enjoying the race or going fishing, nothing is better when it's time to relax than a crisp, cold Busch. It's Bush o'clock, so grab a six-pack of Busch beer for the cooler, start the grill, and relax. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Busch Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
He's on his way to victory lane for the 5th time in 26.
Thanks for listening to MRN. We want to give race fans the best product possible. Let us know what you think. Go to mrn.com/survey, and you can get an MRN Hero Card.
Facebook and Twitter, MRN is there. Follow MRN on social media for all the latest happenings from the track and in NASCAR. Breaking news, video, photos, live races and shows, stats, opinion, and more. Follow along on MRN's Facebook and Twitter.
Talked to some of the crew before the green flag this afternoon. They said, we want to win one for Wildman. Off turn number 2, all the challenges in the rearview mirror. Mile and a half, Martin is on his way to another win.
They were down, but they were definitely not out. Martin Truex Jr., once again, the cream of the crop. He's about to take another trip to Gatorade Victory Lane.
The march to Miami continues for Martin Truex Jr. Win number 7. It comes today here at Kansas Speedway.
Dave Moody, Mike Bagley, and Joe Moore on the call from Kansas Speedway, the Hollywood Casino's 407 victories. You know, back in the day, you'd see a guy like a Rusty Wallace reel off 10 or something like that, but and even further back, Richard Petty could win practically half the races in a season, but 7 is pretty much unheard of anymore.
They've pretty much dominated the series, and really dating back to last year too. They had some bad luck in the playoffs last year, but they have just dominated. Yeah. I mean, they call them the mile and a halves, but it's really everywhere you go. They've had speed. And
they could have easily been into the double figures of wins so far, because there have been a handful of times where they've been up front and something crazy happens to them.
Yeah, no, it's like Martin Truex and Cole Byrne. They just clicked, and you know, now they can't do anything wrong almost. So they've been like that for a little while now.
Let's hear from Martin Truex Jr. in Victory Lane. He spoke with our Winston Kelly.
I just, couldn't believe some of the things that were happening. Thought there's no way we were going to win that race at some point. And, that first restart violation really caught me by surprise, and obviously that hurt. But that wasn't the last blow we had to take. It was, the loose wheel we had to pit for in the green and getting a lap down. And then being able to stay out throughout that stage and get that lap back was crucial. I think without that, we didn't have a shot. So, then we got back mid-pack and had some couple really good restarts to get some track position, and then really just fought the balance of the car throughout that part of the race and had to make some big adjustments. And I felt like at the end we got dialed in pretty good, so pretty happy with that. I feel good about all of them, but Martinsville comes first, so we're focused on that one the most. Got the first pit stall already, which is a good start for that. Just got to go there and qualify well and hope to race well all day. So I think if we can just continue to be ourselves and not have any major problems, we should be in good shape to get to Miami and then go have some fun there.
There you go, Martin Truex Jr. talking about the adversity they had to overcome. He had the situation where he changed lanes on the restart as the leader, and then the situation with the loose wheel. So he had to come from the 30-ish spot twice to get back up to the front.
And that's hard to do at a mile and a half. But I think some of the credit needs to go to Kansas Speedway and how wide the racing groove got. You could
Even with a bunch of rain the night before.
Yeah. So I mean, some of these mile and a halves you go to, it's single file racing, but Kansas has weathered enough over the last 4 or 5 seasons since it's been paved that it's providing really great racing now.
Why do you think that race got so crazy? Because we're thinking a mile and a half, it's not going to be that way. And part of the reason, anyway, for moving Talladega off the elimination race spot was because, well, it's just such a wild card. We're going to tear up too many cars, and then we go to Kansas and have a big one anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if you can attribute any one thing to that. I think sometimes the drivers just go haywire. So it seems like, you know, you'll just have those weekends where it goes like that. So I don't know if there's one specific reason why.
A little bit of confusion with the ruling, even from Truex himself when he did the restart, changed lanes, went down below the line, and got penalized for changing the lanes on the restart. But then Harvick, as we saw, was right in his tire tracks pretty much. What do you understand about the ruling there?
You know, I really don't know, and I'm going to be paying more attention to the drivers' meeting this weekend in Martinsville, that's for sure. But really, all Truex was doing was trying to keep from the side draft right there. He wasn't changing lanes to go around somebody. He was the leader. So that one kind of caught me off guard, and it was definitely strange that the second row didn't get called for it too. So I'm going to have my ears open there for the drivers' meeting, that's for sure.
Might be some hands raised in the drivers' meeting in both series this weekend at Martinsville for sure.
And I'm sure there's just technicalities to all these rules. And a lot of times, even as a driver and a crew chief, it's hard to keep up with it all. Mm-hmm. So and you make a lot of these decisions on instincts.
Yeah.
So it's hard sometimes.
And even like you were talking about the Matt Kenseth situation, their deal was they got parked because they had too many men over the wall while they were on the 5-minute clock to repair damage. The intent of the rule is so they don't throw 15 guys out there to try to beat the clock. But then when you see under non-5-minute clock conditions, other guys can do that, you're not penalized. And I think that might be a little bit difficult for fans to follow.
Yeah, it's probably difficult for the fans to follow, but it is. They were clearly breaking the rules. You know, it's not a big deal that there was another person over there, and everybody knows that. But you know, by technicality, they're wrong. So. Yeah. I'd say they made the right ruling on that one for sure.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick time out here on Motorsports Monday. On the other side, Ryan Blaney's crew chief, Jeremy Bullins, will join us. Stick around.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that onion to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse, blooming great.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
It's almost the most refreshing time of the day, Bush o'clock, a time for relaxing and unwinding with friends and family over a crisp, cold Busch beer. Busch's roots are in racing, but whether you're enjoying the race or going fishing, nothing is better when it's time to relax than a crisp, cold Busch. It's Bush o'clock, so grab a six-pack of Busch beer for the cooler, start the grill, and relax. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Busch Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, this is Jimmy Johnson, and you're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday.
Welcome back to MRN Motorsports Monday. Joey Meyer on special assignment. Grant Enfinger filling in the guest host chair, and joining us on the guest line now, Ryan Blaney's crew chief is Jeremy Bullins on the Omnicraft Auto Parts Ford. They had a third-place run at Kansas Speedway, and Jeremy, after having to start dead last on the field, I don't think you guys flipped the switch to start that motor. It was more like you lit the fuse. You guys really had a rocket. How did you pull that off?
Well, our car was fast all weekend, but before we get to that, I really need to know what kind of special assignment Joey Meyer could possibly be in.
I have no idea.
I'm going to have to talk to Joey about this, but
I wish you would, because we can't do anything with him.
Well, he and I are always looking for things to needle each other about, so you better believe he's going to hear about this one. So
please do.
So, yeah, our Omnicraft Ford was fast all weekend. You know, we knew that that's one of our best racetracks. We kind of knew that, you know, there was no better place for us to go to a cutoff race than Kansas for us. We felt like we could go there and have a good day. And certainly starting in the back wasn't a lot of fun, but Ryan did a good job of making time early. And, you know, we were able to put ourselves in a good position by the competition yellow and kept moving forward from there.
Jeremy, I got a question for you. This is Grant Enfinger here. I'm the relief driver for Joey today. Where do you attribute your success this year is to the years past? It seems like I mean, y'all are a legitimate championship contender, and y'all have had really good speed at a lot of these places. So where do you feel like that's come from? Is that all Ryan? Is that more support from Penske? Is that you figuring out stuff?
It's all crew chief. It's all crew chief. Come on. Yeah.
All right. No, I mean, honestly, it's a little bit of everything. It's the process of building a team. You know, we started with the part-time schedule in 15. We ran the full season last year. You know, it's just building a team, getting our team where it needs to be, getting our cars where they need to be. You know, obviously the alliance with Team Penske is great for us from a technology side of things and an information side of things. And, you know, Ryan's getting more experience. Everybody's working really well together. You know, we got a couple different people on the team this year that have stepped up and really done a good job. And it's just the growth of the 21 team.
How gratifying is it for you, Jeremy, to see I think I read a stat where you guys now, by making it to the round of 8, are going to have the best points finish for the Wood Brothers in like 2 decades or something like that. How gratifying is it, with all the history that team has, for you guys to be a part of that ride with them in this season? It's got to be really special.
Yeah, it's very cool. And, you know, a lot of people know the story of that's the first place that I worked, and I grew up really close to Stewart. So, you know, being from that area, it was important for me to when we got the opportunity to be part of this, is to try to do the best we could with it and to do a good job of it. So, you know, as much as they've accomplished, to see how excited Eddie and Lynn were after the race of moving on and all that kind of stuff, it's a lot of fun. It's very gratifying to see those guys excited about it. So, you know, hopefully we can keep it going.
So you talk about building a team, and you've definitely done a great job of building the Wood Brothers back to their past success, and I feel like everybody is rooting for that. Now, as you move forward into next year, going back to Penske racing with Ryan, how do you do the same thing over there? Do you have the leeway to choose your car chief, to choose your engineer, or is that something that's decided for you at Penske?
Well, fortunately, I think, you know, my core group of car chief and engineers and shot guy and people like that, I think are all going to stay together, which is really exciting for the 12 car to have a good foundation of the people that, you know, really make the thing tick all the time. But it's sad for me because we've got a really good group of mechanics on the 21 car that have a ton of experience and do a great job. So that'll definitely be a challenge trying to fill the shoes of all those guys, because they've done a really nice job for us of not having failures and not having things go wrong. So I'm going to miss that part, and that'll be a challenge for sure. But, you know, working so closely with Team Penske for the last 2 or 3 years and being there with their Xfinity program, I think it'll be pretty seamless trying to get the 12 up and going. We've just got a few key people that we've got to put names in boxes and try to get that team built.
Chatting with Jeremy Bullins, a crew chief for Ryan Blaney. Let's look ahead now that the round of 8 starts at Martinsville coming up this weekend. It's sort of a home game for the Wood Brothers. If you go back into their history, the Virginia roots, they're going up to Martinsville. What are you expecting at the short track this weekend?
Yeah, it's definitely a home track. You know, they've got a fan day planned for Friday, which is nice to have the RSA there. So I know they're expecting a big crowd there. We kind of did something similar in the spring, I believe it was, or it might have been last fall. I can't even remember. It all runs together. But it's always nice to have the fans turn out and come see the museum and the old shop up there. So, but yeah, we had a great test at Martinsville a couple weeks back. I felt like it went well. Felt like we learned a lot. You know, we ran well there in the spring, so we got some damage in part of the race and had to pit under green. But I feel like it's a place that Ryan has adapted to pretty quickly. We kind of struggled there the first couple times, and then it was like the light switch came on and he got it. And, you know, we were running top 5 in the spring before we got some damage. So feel like it's a place we can go there and be competitive and try to get a good start to this next round.
And one final thing, Jeremy, as we saw at Kansas, we saw some guys get popped by different rules violations. Martin Truex on a restart violation and Matt Kenseth for too many guys over the wall. I mean, how much is that forefront in your mind as you got to mind all your P's and Q's and make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, because something simple could knock you out of a championship here?
Man, that's the hard part. Like, it's one thing for you to know the rules, but it's another thing to educate all your guys and make sure they know what's going on. And I think, I think the last time somebody got busted with the 7 guys rule under the damaged vehicle policy was the 42 in the Clash all the way back in February. So that's one that, we talk about it all the time, but some of that stuff you can't talk about enough, just making sure that everybody understands the situation you're in. And it's a really unfortunate thing that happened, but, the rule is there, and it was clear as day that 7 guys and NASCAR was in a position where they did what they had to do there. So it's unfortunate. It seems nitpicky, but the rule is the rule, and it was there, and it was broken. So it's unfortunate for that group for sure. But it's just one of those things that you got to try to educate your guys on.
All right, it's definitely a situation where every little thing is going to be magnified now as we go down the stretch in these last 4 races. But Jeremy, congratulations on a strong run for you guys at Kansas Speedway, a 3rd place run there, and we'll catch up with you at Martinsville this weekend.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm going to go try to find Joey here. So,
if you find him, let us know where he is. I think he might be playing hooky.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. Jeremy Bullins, the crew chief for Ryan Blaney on the Omnicraft Auto Parts Ford. And, boy, as you mentioned in the question there, it's just been great to see their progression as they build and build and build.
They have definitely, made leaps and bounds, and now they're gonna run for this championship. So they've got a good shot at making it to Homestead, I feel like.
Absolutely. We want to go out of this segment. We've got one more segment where we'll look ahead at Martinsville coming up on the truck side for Grant as well. But as we go to break, you heard a mention of it there in our teas coming in, and Martin Truex Jr. Jim Watson, the fabricator, the road fabricator for Furniture Row Racing, passed away from a heart attack while he was in Kansas Speedway with the team this weekend, and they dedicated everything to Wildman. They even wrote his name on their tires that they were changing through the race, and we just wanted to say our thoughts and prayers go out to the whole Furniture Row team and Jim Watson's family.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that onion to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse, blooming great.
It's almost Buescher o'clock. A time for relaxing and unwinding with a crisp, cold Busch beer. It's the most refreshing time of the day. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1. Busch. Crisp, cold Busch. Enjoy responsibly. Busch Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
After more than 1 million hours of development, the truck of the future has arrived. The new Cascadia from Freightliner. Inspired by science, driven by passion. It's loaded with driver-focused improvements, such as noise abatement technologies for an even quieter ride, an innovative wraparound dashboard for improved comfort, and a reimagined driver's lounge that promotes productivity and relaxation. Experience the new Cascadia at your dealer or online at Freightliner.com.
Oh, there's going to be some conversation in the Joe Gibbs Racing competition meeting on Monday morning. But for now, Christopher Bell will take it off turn 2 with a big lead for the final time.
Christopher Bell now facing some lap traffic for the final time off the end of the back straightaway to the top of the racetrack, leading the way and the king of the hill here in Kansas.
Christopher Bell exits turn number 4, sees the checkered flag, and wins the Kansas Lottery 300 at Kansas Speedway.
Christopher Bell with his first win in the Xfinity Series in his 5th try. And Grant, it was kind of odd to see a sprint car dirt guy do that slide job in front of Eric Jones, and some people thought it was a good move. Some people didn't think it was a good move. I thought it was pretty clean. I mean, it wasn't like he pushed Eric's nose into the wall. He hit him square in the back.
No, he didn't go in there and drive him into the wall. I thought it was a questionable move, but I mean, he's going for his first career Xfinity Series win. He's laying it all on the line. You know, I was expecting that, honestly. So, and I feel like Eric could have lifted, but when somebody pulls a slide job on you as a driver, it does make you angry.
Kind of makes your eyeballs twirl a little bit, doesn't it?
Because you have to roll out of it, and then you basically give up all that time. So it's a questionable move, but I don't blame him one bit for making it.
Yeah, I mean, a win is a win is a win these days, and we've seen in your series, as a matter of fact, the last 3 years at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, somebody gets wrecked on the last lap?
Yeah, some of those were a little excessive. I don't think this one's in that category. So this one was him driving hard, and they got together, and obviously you don't like to see that, but you know, how else are you going to pass him at that time? I mean, it's time to go.
It's so hard to pass anybody these days. You got to seize every opportunity you
Absolutely.
can get. Let's look ahead to Martinsville right quick. You've got the trucks going back there. We're to the round of 6 now. 2 of your teammates are still vying for a championship as we head up there. What can we expect at Martinsville?
You know, it's
people to lose their minds.
yes. It seems like Martinsville brings that out in both the Truck Series and the Cup Series there. So I look forward to be a lot of good racing. Hopefully our Ride TV Tundra is looking good. I feel like we've made a lot of progress on our flat track stuff. So feel like we'll be good. But yeah, definitely Matt and Ben both are running for a chance to get to Homestead. So got a few more chances here to get it done.
Tell us what Ride TV is quickly.
Basically, Ride TV is 24-hour horse network. So it anything related to horses, horsepower, racing, all kinds of stuff. We've been fortunate enough to go out to Fort Worth, do a lot of fun stuff with them this year. So got a lot of good partners with Champion Power Equipment and Jive Communications and Curb Records as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we want to get your help here on MRN Motorsports Monday. Visit mrn.com/survey and help us find out some of the things that you're interested in, some ways we can improve, some ways we can do a little bit better with things, or what you like about what we're already doing. That's mrn.com/survey. Check it out. Don't forget, it's Bloomin' Monday because Kevin Harvick got that top 10 finish. Head over to Outback Steakhouse. Get that Bloomin' Onion for free. You don't even have to pay for it when Kevin Harvick gets a top 10 finish. Don't forget as well, NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and we'll be covering the truck race and the cup race. It's a condensed weekend at Martinsville Speedway this weekend. Saturday and Sunday racing. Make sure you join us. Thanks to Grant Enfinger from Thor Sport Racing for being here. We'll see you right back here next week, and hopefully Joey will be here as well.
MRN Motorsports Monday is presented by Outback Steakhouse. Tune in every Monday for another exciting episode right here on MRN.com. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. MRN Motorsports Monday is also available on demand in MRN.com's Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, and in iTunes or the Google Play Store. MRN Motorsports Monday is a production of the Motor Racing Network.